What is going on, everybody? I am Kairos, and this is Kairos MMA. Man, that feels good to say. I've been gone for a while because I was too busy failing out of my college courses. You know what? F it. I'm going to drop out of college and just be a YouTuber. I'm not that serious. But we got a lot to talk about. UFC 240 and probably the worst UFC event that we've seen in the past 3 to 5 years. Let's get it started.
They say I'm the best at what I do. After me it's 5, 4, 3, and 2. Sometimes I think they all gum bumping. So I tell them all to put that on something.
UFC 240 should be called Redemption. Remember when the UFC used to have names for the events that they'd have? This is the ultimate name for this, which is Redemption. Frankie Edgar has an opportunity to rectify all those title shots that have been wasted on him. Not wasted, but things that he just couldn't make it through with. Seriously, if he loses this fight, he might only get 3 more title shots on the real. That being said, let's break it down. I think Max Holloway easily skates through this for 5 rounds. And I think he outstrikes him, outpoints him. I think Frankie Edgar makes it competitive like he always does, where he decides he's going to win a few rounds towards the end to make it interesting. But I think that Max Holloway is only going to lose maybe 2 rounds. So I'd say he wins 48-47. There's a lot of people who think that Frankie Edgar's time is now, and I just don't think so. Yes, Max Holloway just lost to Dustin Poirier in a 5-round war. That was one of the most exciting fights that we saw, especially on that card with Israel Adesanya and Kelvin Gastelum. But I think that the chances just are not in Frankie Edgar's favor based off of his age and experience accumulating on his chin and health. You saw it when Brian Ortega sparked him with that uppercut from the clinch. Now, the fight before that is going to be Chris Cyborg versus Felicia Spencer. And I know everybody's getting those Bye Felicia memes ready. And rightfully so. Felicia Spencer is going to be the sacrificial lamb to Chris Cyborg. Remember, Chris Cyborg was one of the most feared fighters in the UFC for a while, especially in the women's division. Yeah, you had Ronda talking about how she would beat her and blah, blah, blah. Nobody believed that. I didn't believe it. You didn't believe it. She didn't believe it. I think Chris Cyborg, if she sparks Felicia, she's right back in the mix and she gets her rematch against Amanda. Do I think she's going to beat Amanda? I really do think that she can beat Amanda Nunes. I think she just got way too careless in that first round because Amanda got her to engage in a firefight. And it just didn't pay out for her. Anybody can go down in a firefight. Fight before that, a lot more exciting. Jeff Neal and Niko Price. Jeff Neal was off of Dana White's Contender Series, and he was able to earn his contract by a first-round TKO. I wasn't too ultra impressed by his style just because it's more so boxing-based than anything, and I haven't really seen a fight of him where his cardio is tested. And I think Niko Price has an amazing ability to finish the fight no matter what position he is. He's upside down, raining hammer fist against the cage, and KOs this fool. So I'm going to go with Niko Price, and I think he just wins by unanimous decision. The fight before that's going to be Armin Mercier. He was a fighter on Tough Canada versus, I believe, Australia. One of the two. I'm not going to say in love. I enjoy watching this dude fight and his swagger, his Instagram, his Twitter. He has some of the best swagger and sauce I've ever seen on social media from fighters. He's fighting this man, Armenia Sufi, whatever, Swag Surf. Swag Surf is his name. Swag Surf doesn't look too impressive. He's had about 3 or 4 fights in the UFC, but he's had a decent amount of experience. But I think Armin Mercier's grappling heavy attack and his diversity and his strong camp, people don't talk about that. The better your camp is, the better you're going to be. He trains at TriStar. I think that he's just going to be able to win rounds based off of his wrestling heavy style, get ahead on the scorecards early, and win 30-27 unanimous decision. If he finishes, great, but I don't see him finishing this fight. Now, before that, also, we have Christoph Jaco versus Marc-Andre Barem. There's some strange names, guys. I am so sorry for mispronouncing these names, but, it is what it is. I'm going Christoph Jaco. I don't know too much about these two guys, but I know Jaco is a finisher, and this other guy, I know nothing about him. So, those are my picks. I think he gets it done by unanimous decision. Let's talk about the previous fight, UFC fight now, I believe it was 152. If I'm mistaken, whatever. RDA versus Leon Edwards. I made a promo for that. Check it out. 1,000 plus views. We out here, baby. Anyway, that fight card was so boring. Alexander Hernandez versus Francisco Trinaldo might have been the worst fight I have ever watched in my life other than Marina Moroz versus Danielle Taylor. I'm going to show you guys the stats for that fight right now. I believe Marina Moroz landed 15 of 251 strikes. Anyway. I think Alexander Hernandez's fight against Cowboy Cerrone really set back his confidence, but after he won this one, I think he'll be back with his normal aggressive style. It's one of those situations where you had Francis Ngannou who got outclassed by Stipe Miocic. Then he had that dumpster fire of a fight with Derek Lewis, and then he's back to killing people the next 3 fights. I think that's the same thing for Alexander Hernandez, but I don't think he won that fight either. A lot of people think Cerrone won. I agree. RDA versus Leon Edwards. I'm not gonna lie, I went back and forth. My original pick was Leon Edwards. Then I really do believe in RDA. I have a really strong opinion of Rafael dos Anjos, and it was a close fight. But that being said, put some respect on Leon Edwards' name. I don't know who he fights next. I don't think it should be for the title, and I don't think he should fight Jorge Masvidal, but that would be an excellent 5-rounder, though, if they do put that together. Also, Cowboy Cerrone is fighting Justin Gaethje. Can you believe that? I'm going to put together a promo for that fight and have it done by this week, so be on the lookout for that as well. I think I'm going with Justin Gaethje. I'm going Justin Gaethje. That man has been sparking fools left and right, and he's not going to allow Cowboy to get those kicks off because of the range that he fights at. I think he starts early, checking the leg kicks. Not checking the leg kicks, delivering vicious leg kicks to Cowboy in transition, and I think he forces Donald to try and employ his ground game, which Donald never seems to do, even though he's legit off his back. I think in this fight, if Cowboy does not resort to trying to grapple or wrestle a little bit, he's going to get ran by. And if Cowboy loses this fight, I would like to see him fight Rafael dos Anjos at 170 for the 3rd time, because that fight would be exciting. Now, that being said, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments down below for your picks for the fight guide, and also stay locked for future content, whether that's fight promotions, fighter highlights, fight card breakdowns, giveaways, whatever you can possibly imagine. Thank you guys so much for putting up with me for this long, and tune in and keep it locked. Thank you.
They say I'm the best at what I do. After me it's 5, 4, 3, and 2. Sometimes I think they all gum bumping. So I tell them all to put that on something.